Welcome. If you are seeing this video, perhaps there's a message that you might need to hear today. I am glad you're here. I am filming in my yard and I live in town, and so you might hear sirens, you might hear neighbors, you might hear birds, but that's what we're all doing, right? Is living this life. And so let's just all experience this together. I invite you to pick a card and let your intuition guide you on which card is going to have the message that you might need to hear today. Before we get started, I invite you into this moment. Go ahead and take a deep breath and listen to the sound. In front of me are 3 cards. I have already cleared this space and set the intention that the message that you need to hear will come through for you. Once I turn them over, I will begin interpreting, and at the end, I will share a spiritual oracle card that will be a take-home message for all of us. The first card is the 5 of Pentacles. See if this feels like it resonates with you. The second card is the 3 of Wands. The third card is the Knight of Swords. You may pause the video if you need, but allow your intuition to guide you. Which card, which message do you need to hear today? The 5 of Pentacles, the 3 of Wands, or the Knight of Swords. I'm going to begin with the 5 of Pentacles. Whenever we encounter a 5 in a card, whether it's the 5 of Pentacles or Wands, Swords, whatever the suit may be, it usually denotes that it's a more intense time period in our lives. The 5 of Pentacles, with the symbolism of the Pentacles, it's grounded energy, it's earth energy. And so whenever you see a Pentacles card, it automatically says, okay, we're dealing with finances, or we're dealing with career, maybe even business stuff. Now, as I look at this card, my first intuition message that comes through is that it is a card of struggle. And so if you find that you feel like you're struggling financially, this card says you'll get through it. Keep going. The pentacles in the background act like they're part of a stained glass window in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. Now, what this tells you in the symbolism here is that even as you're going through a difficult time, maybe you're not where you want to be financially, maybe you aren't saving the money that you want to save, maybe things just are difficult because you have unexpected expenses. But this card says, keep going, easier times will come. And there is help available, there is support, but you need to look for it. The warm light in the window, in this sense, the 2 people in the card can go inside and find comfort and find warmth. And so in our own lives, that translates to there is something around you where you can lean on and look to that for support. Sometimes it can feel like as you go through that, the struggle is real and you wonder, how do I go on? What does this look like from here? And even if you don't know the answers, putting one foot in front of the other until you see that support that's there for you, or you can really lean into the person or friend or resource that can really help you out of your situation. But this too will pass. And so if you are in the middle of a financial struggle where you're wondering, what does this look like? You don't have to know. Just keep going. And you'll see that light. You'll see that warmth. And you'll understand in that moment that help has arrived. Now, if you chose the Three of Wands, this card is almost representative of a journey that we're on. The person here has paused for a moment to see what's out there. It means that you've made progress, but there is still more journey to go. So you've started an adventure, whether it's with work or something relating to the home. But the adventure has started, and now you've paused for a second to say, okay, it's getting real. And this card is a gentle nudge to say, yes, remember to breathe and keep going. There is more to this journey, and you're on the right track. And that's because you're making forward progress. The pause allows you to ascertain, to think about, where am I at and where do I need to go? And then you keep going. So the wands are almost always a card of forward momentum, of action. They touch on that solar plexus energy where we use our motivation and cultivate our strength. This card is no different. There's a lot of yellow here suggesting that motivation and forward momentum movement of the solar plexus chakra. But it's also a time to breathe, look at where you're at and where you're going, and understand that progress has been made. And now, keep going, because better things are coming. If you chose the Knight of Swords, this card is one of the court cards in the tarot. It means that often when we're looking at the court cards, we're thinking about the people in our lives or the situations around the people in our lives. The Knight of Swords is after the page, but before the queen or the king. So we haven't mastered things yet. Now, when you see swords, we're dealing with the mind, mental energy, and sometimes heart energy. And here, this can represent tension. Perhaps there is someone in your life in which you've had an argument, or maybe you've not even had an argument, but you're just feeling some amount of friction. The result is that you may have to think quickly when you encounter this person or the situation that involves this person once again. And in that way, if you know that you might encounter this person again, or that situation with that person, you can think about, because remember we're talking about mental energy, you can think about different scenarios and what you might do before encountering that person again, so that you have a little more preparation and knowing what you might need to do, especially because what happens with that person or that situation means that you might have to act quickly. You can see the clouds kind of look busy and sort of rushed. And so this card says, okay, you might be in a situation where you feel uneasy, tense. And so that requires a certain amount of quick thinking. And if you can do that, it will help you to get to the next adventure, the next situation, or at least ease the tensions with the person that you're with. There's a lot of blue energy there, and that does touch on intuitive energy. But it also touches on that mental energy that we exert when we are dealing with the people in our lives. And this is where thought comes into play and taking a pause before immediately acting. Just that one quick breath that gives you a centered moment so that you can think clearly and effectively as well as quickly when you need to take action. These cards are in no way bad. They are in no way negative. But they do uncover some of the more intense moments that we see in our lives, especially the Five of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords. The Three of Wands is like a reprieve, a bit of a reprieve, but it's still forward progress on a journey. So what does that mean? You have your card chosen, and you have the message that was delivered. Now I have a spiritual oracle card, and I'll share the message with you. It's called Illuminating Stitches. Experience moments of enlightenment and gain clarity on your path. Here the interpretation would be that on all of these cards, taking a moment to pause, using that intellect to gather resources, to understand where you're at, to perhaps think about scenarios or solutions before taking action. All of them have that common thread. And so this is a subtle reminder that pausing, even in the middle of the day, even in the middle of a situation or a moment, can mean the difference between acting with integrity and with good information that gave you clarity, or acting impulsively and making decisions that might not be the ones that you really thought through and aren't really happy with. And so the universe is gently saying, it's okay to take a breath and pause before acting. Now, with all of these messages, of course, I encourage you to take what resonates and leave the rest. Thank you for being here with me today. And I bid you well on the journey, and until next time.